Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Greetings to everyone on this third international conference on spirituality. When we speak about spirituality, generally we speak about the human spirit or the soul of man as opposed to the material aspect of our life. But what is the nature of this soul or spirit of man? Well, the ancients have said that the soul of man is a field of Sat Chit Anand. And to know that, one has to become that. So our inner nature, the inner nature of our life itself, is a field of infinite potentiality, a field of pure consciousness, a field of bliss. Modern science has told us that everything in this universe is an expression of a unified field of natural law that is at the basis of all that we see, including our human physiology. So whether we look from the standpoint of modern science or from the ancient Vedic literature or from the Buddhism or for Christianity, we hear the same thing, that inner man is divine. And it is this level of our divinity, is getting to know that and to live that in daily life, that is the core of spiritual expression in life. This level of life, this spiritual level of life, is guided by an inner intelligence, which is the core of our being, and it is nothing other than our divine self. And it is this inner intelligence that is expressing itself through our brain physiology and the central nervous system and the spinal cord and the billions of cells in our body that is responsible for our life on this earth. This inner intelligence guides our action. It is monitoring your vital signs and making adjustments when you walk, you sleep, you read a book, or listen to a seminar. Everything that we do in life is guided by this inner intelligence. And the flow of this inner intelligence is guided by our emotions, our feelings, and expressed through our thoughts. Because we act based on how we think, and we think based on how we feel. Our emotions are at the core of our activities in life. So take for instance, if you got up this morning and you were not feeling good, then that level of feeling will elicit negative thoughts, maybe about yourself or about your activity, about the world around you. And if you have to interact with other people, the interaction may not be smooth. So our action and interaction are all dependent on how we feel emotionally. In fact, our emotional well-being is at the core of our health, our finances, our relationship, our happiness, and our spirituality. Emotional well-being is important if we want to grow spiritually and if we want to be fulfilled in life. Why? Because our essential nature is nothing other than bliss. This is the nature of our spirit, our soul, our atma, whatever you want to call it. Life itself is an expression of these qualities of our inner life. So when we take action, when we look to do something in life, it's because basically we're seeking happiness or fulfillment out of that thing. And when it does not provide us with that happiness and fulfillment as we expected, when our desires are not fulfilled, then generally we feel frustration and anxious, and we end up in negative thoughts, negative behavior, and negative feelings. Lack of ability to fulfill our desires in socially acceptable ways leads to negative behavior and actions in life. And this is all guided by our emotional state. So when we cannot fulfill our desires, then it creates stress on ourselves, because negative emotions, constantly having negative emotions and feeling, disrupt the harmony within ourselves. That harmony is guided by this feeling of happiness and bliss. And when that breaks down, then we feel stress. And what stress does? Stress shuts down the prefrontal cortex of the brain, just behind the forehead there, that is responsible for moral reasoning, empathy, emotional intelligence, and all positive behavior and emotions in life. When that shuts down, then the amygdala of the brain, which is the emotional center of the brain, takes over, and the system is flooded by all stress hormones such as cortisol and other stressors that make us feel anxious and tense. And this affects the way we behave. So emotional well-being is very, very important in terms of growing spiritually. Life is nothing other than an emotional expression. All of life wants to do is to grow in love and in harmony. But disruption within the biochemical physiology of ourselves, due to negative feelings and emotions, tend to create negative actions and bring unhappiness in life. For too long, we have been taught that in order to be happy in life, we have to be successful materially. And of course, material success is important to life because it gives us comfort and it brings a certain level of satisfaction and happiness. But it does not create inner peace and fulfillment over the long term. So, in order to grow spiritually, we have to be able to live 200% of life. 100% inner fulfillment and 100% outer dynamic achievement. How can we do this? Well, we know about the outer aspect. We know what to do on the outer aspect. But the inner aspect, we have been told by the ancients that we need to be still, to turn the attention within, to allow the mind to experience finer and finer or less degree of its own development and transcend, to go beyond that and experience that field of Satchitananda, that field of self-realization. And when we do that, we realize the self. Self-realization is becoming aware of that self, the Atma of who you are. This is your kingdom of heaven within. This is your field of infinite possibilities from which all creativity, intelligence, and energy spring, from which every thought that you have in your mind comes. And how we can say that? Because we have been thinking since we know ourselves. And for a thought to move, to come from wherever it's coming from, within ourselves, there must be energy that moves it. And intelligence, because we take a direction in our thinking. Creativity, because we create from what we think. Now, when we are feeling creative, energetic, and happy, and intelligent, we generally feel happy. And when we are not, and we lack energy, and we don't feel so bright in the head, then we tend to feel unhappy. So knowing how to contact that source of thought within is essential for our spiritual growth. But it's also essential to maintain a connection with our divine being, which is nothing other than bliss. It is lack of connection with that that leads to the disharmonies in life and the search for happiness outside ourselves. Spiritual growth is growing in unbounded love, and freedom, and in tune or in harmony with all the laws of nature or the will of God. And a spiritually evolved man is one who is living in harmony with natural law, where all his action is right for himself and others around. So when we are thinking of creating a unity conscious world, we have to think of creating unity conscious beings or individuals who have evolved to that state of unity consciousness. Yes, there is a state of unity consciousness, different from waking, dreaming, sleeping states of consciousness. First, we have to transcend and experience that source of our being. Next, we have to refine our mind and body. We have to take recourse to a good diet, health, exercises. Use all the tools of modern medicine and ancient medicine and all the systems that are available through so many of these divine speakers here today to actually create and refine this body and mind so it can reflect the totality of who you are. You are born to enjoy life. You are born to live unity consciousness of life. To create a peaceful world, we first have to create peaceful individuals. To create a world in unity consciousness, we have to create individuals who have grown in unity consciousness. Unity consciousness is not a talk show. It cannot be found in books. Unity consciousness is a state of life. One has to live and grow and express that in everything that you do. Just as you do in waking state of consciousness, it is a state of consciousness. And so to create that, we have to create individuals who have grown to this high state of consciousness, which is unity consciousness, where one feels at home with everything and everyone. And one expression is that of love. Love, unbounded love, is that emotional state of one in unity consciousness. So having positive emotions and knowing how to do that is essential for life. So here are the stages. First, we need to know how to turn within. And I've been fortunate to have studied under Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of Transcendental Meditation, for over 25 years. And he gave a simple technique of how to do that. And when one does that, one purifies the body and create coherence or orderliness in the mind at the same time. In his advanced program, he has shown that just a square root of 1% of a population doing that advanced program can create order in this society around us. And these are all verified by scientific research. So that's the first thing, knowing how to contact that field within. Secondly, we have to know how to manage our health and take care of our body. And third, we need to understand what pushes our emotional buttons, what it is that gets us upset, why it is that we have negative emotions. Our emotions are based on our belief system and our rules and values in life. And we need to take a deep look at those and see if they're in accordance with natural law. Other than that, meditation alone will not help. Taking care of your diet alone will not help. We have to use all the tools available if we are serious about growing to enlightened state, to be spiritually evolved beings. So my message, dear friends, is one of creating harmony and unity in all aspects of our life. And I thank the organizers of this great conference for inviting so many people from so many different disciplines to share their value, because we are all expressions of natural law and we bring the fruits of our labor to help create a better world. Thank you and good luck and success to all. Namaste.